Hey, Coach. I think from a distance, it seems the main question that people would have is how the striker position will play out with Morgan and Trinity off to the pros. How do you kind of see the top of the attack looking?
I mean, we're young. We still got Elise Bennett back there, but our numbers are high. Whether we had Trinity, which obviously was disappointing, and Morgan graduating, which is natural. It's probably our most loaded position, to be honest with you. So it gives an extra player a chance. I mean, we're 6 to 8 players deep up top. How I manage that and who starts when, who plays when, will be to be determined. But it's not like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? We don't have numbers. It's like, okay, so we went from 9 to 8. So we'll be ready.
And then I think the other main question with Ella moving on after being a fixture in net for almost half a decade. Obviously, Marissa Zucchetto was kind of the big acquisition there. Do you see her as kind of probably being the main keeper?
I do. Right now, she's the leading one out of the gate. Marissa actually was recruited by me when I was at Texas Tech back in the day, so I'm well familiar with her. She's done a fantastic job, as all our keepers have right now. But, yeah, I'd say Marissa's the lead candidate going into opening day.
And then it seems one of the constants for your teams, really the last couple of years, has been there's always a couple of freshmen who emerge. It was Micaiah a couple years ago, Bree going back even a few years before that. Do you have a couple freshmen you think are really going to stand out from the beginning?
We do. We may have as many as 3 in the lineup on Sunday. Alyssa from Seattle, and then or Giggs Harbor, We got Margie from Arizona. We got another Wilden, Marin Wilden. Will play for us as well. I mean, the whole group, and we can go. Let's go on McKenna, Jayla. I mean, we're pretty deep as our freshmen. I'm really excited about this group of young ladies, but I do think a couple will get to start on Sunday as well.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck this season.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Ann, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. I'm kind of wondering what your feeling is about the scope of college soccer right now. You've got teams in the ACC and teams in the SEC that have basically already played championships, and then you guys have to come in kind of like, without that kind of extra experience. Do you feel like that benefits you, or do you feel like that's kind of a hindrance when you look at the entirety of college soccer?
Well, as a coach in the Pac-12, I'm going to use it as a positive. I mean, we can all sit down and make excuses and coulda, shoulda, woulda, or everything's not fair this year. I mean, it is what it is, and we're all grateful to be back. From my perspective, the team or teams that get out of this conference is going to be hotter than the teams that already played this fall, because we're going to have a legit season this spring. So I'm going to use it as a bonus. Yes, some of those teams know their fate and where they're headed, but the team or teams that come out of the Pac-12 are going to have a grueling spring that I think they're going to be more prepared and ready to go. So that's how I'm going to roll with that.
Were you happy, I guess, with the Pac-12 decision to suspend the season, or do you have any thoughts on that at all?
I don't. I mean, it's the only thing I can say, not from a COVID standpoint, it is for a team that has to train in a winter environment, makes some things difficult, inside, outside, when we can be here or there because of the weather. So right. Other than that, that's my only, I don't want to say concern. That's an obstacle week, but we deal with that up here at Washington State a lot. So yeah, I mean, the Pac-12 made the decision. We move on, and we do, all we can do is get better and go forward.
Okay, and then I guess the final question is, you guys obviously had a ton of momentum in 2019, and then it kind of, COVID kind of stalled it a little bit. Do you feel like you're still able to build upon that 2019 season, or do you feel like in a way you're having to start over?
Yeah, momentum is one thing, but attitude and consistency and confidence and competitiveness that this team brings day in and day out is really exciting. I mean, I got a group of young ladies, they could probably run over to Seattle right now. That's how excited they are to play this Sunday. So, yeah, the consistent part, we'll see. Competitive-wise, I believe we're there. Yeah, you'll like to strike while you're hot and build off of something. So we had a little pause. That's okay. But I got a hungry group of young ladies that's ready to go.
How would you explain Washington State's kind of quick rise on the national scene?
I mean, I guess you'd say it's quick because we went to the Final Four, but if you looked over the last 5 or 6 years, this program has continued to head in that direction. I'd argue 2 years ago, we were in the Sweet 16. We lost to Florida. and we were a minute from the Elite Eight game to play South Carolina, the team we beat in 2019. So it's quick, but it's there. It's for real. And, again, we're excited, but I don't want to be a one-hit wonder either. We want to be a team that consistently can make some noise here.
Great. Thank you so much, Coach.
No problem. Thank you.
Madison, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, just getting back to Trinity Rodman, and when you have such a kind of highly ranked recruit, and then when the season was kind of put on hold, is her possibility, or did that kind of throw you off guard a little bit?
Could you ask that again? I'm sorry. You faded in and out there. I couldn't hear your whole question. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, sorry. I was just asking about Trinity Rodman and just her being such a highly touted recruit. Is her leaving for the pros early in her career, is that something that you thought might have been a possibility, or is this something that surprised you?
Yeah, anytime you get a high-level player, you have a high-level team, you always have the chance, and the way the Women's Pro League is growing, for that to happen. So, yeah, I mean, it's exciting for her, but it's not a surprise. And, again, in all due respect to Trinity, she wasn't a part of the run we've had here, so she was an added bonus. But all the girls, we still have 6-7 starters from that team in the Final Four that are ready to go. So, yeah, but it wasn't a total surprise. I mean, it's something when you recruit players at that level, it's possible that it could happen.
Great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Can you just quickly talk about what you're looking for in the season, with it being not a throwaway season, but a bonus season for the team, for the seniors, what you're hoping to get out of it, and what you kind of expect out of this team?
I think for us, we got to manage each day. You're not only managing your opponent now, you're managing the coronavirus, you're managing injuries, you're managing a lot of things and obstacles in your way. I think our team is very capable of being adaptable and flexible. So I think from that pattern is, next player up when it's called on, and the person in line has to do their job. And, my expectations are still high. COVID or no COVID, 2 years off or no 2 years off. My expectations here is to win, and that's how these girls are hopefully going to do that job. And wherever it takes us, it takes us. But, again, free year or no free year, I mean, it's all game on for us, and we're all about business. And this group of young ladies was back this fall, and they trained 4 or 5 months and no game, and it was a zero complaint at all, and they did their job. And now we're outside this morning at 30 degrees, and they're just chomping at the bit. So the excitement is, I'm happy these guys get another chance to play here.
Ann, go ahead.
Sorry, it took me just a second to unmute. Just one more follow-up question, kind of along those same lines. You guys have had, top draft picks in each of the last 2 drafts. What is your secret to attracting high-profile players to Pullman, Washington? I
think our program sells itself. We got a great university here. We got a great, unbelievable administrator, and starts at the top, and we got a great facility. And then a lot of times winning takes care of itself. I mean, we have a program that we believe in. We have a structure that we do. We're pretty open book. There's no black or white here. It's open book. I mean, you see what you see is what you're going to get. And I think those girls like the honesty, the competitive nature every day. And again, you're in a Pac-12 school, so I think a lot of that to play in an elite game every weekend is pretty neat for these guys, and that attracts a lot of young ladies.
Given that success in the NWSL, can you use that as a recruiting tool?
Absolutely. I mean, you got 2 number 2 picks in the last 2 years. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
No problem.